Today we are going to study Physical Chemistry of BSc Part 2. The chapter is Thermochemistry. All chemical reactions, barring a few and a large number of physical changes, are accompanied by the evolution or absorption of energy, generally in the form of heat. Thermochemistry is that branch of chemistry which deals with the study of heat changes accompanying chemical reactions. Heat changes can occur in two ways. Exothermic, when reactions which are accompanied by the evolution of heat, that is, the heat is transferred from the system to the surroundings. Second, endothermic process, the reactions which are accompanied by the absorption of heat, that is, heat is transferred from the surroundings to the system. Now, during the chemical reactions by the evolution or absorption of heat, there is a change in the internal energy of the system. If the process is carried out at constant pressure, then the term enthalpy is used, and if the process is carried out at constant volume, then the term internal energy is used. As the reactions are generally carried out in open vessels, that is at constant pressure of 1 atmosphere, therefore generally the heat evolved or absorbed are expressed in terms of enthalpy changes. For a general reaction taking place at constant pressure, for this reaction N1A plus N2B is equal to M1C plus M2D. The total enthalpies of A, B, C and D are HA, HB, HC and HD. The total heat content of the reactants would be N1HA plus N2HB, and the total heat content of the products would be M1HC plus M2HD. And the change in enthalpy at the conclusion of the reaction would be delta H is equal to total heat content of the products minus the total heat content of the reactant. Enthalpy change occurs two types of processes, generally major, that is, first when total heat content of the product is greater than the total heat content of the reactants, then absorption of heat takes place. The process is endothermic and delta H is equal to positive. Second, when the total heat content of the product is lesser than the total heat content of the reactants, then evolution of heat takes place. The process is exothermic and delta H is equal to negative. Now there is another type of process, though it is not so routine process. This involves no heat change, that is, they are thermoneutral, and it is where total heat content of the product is equal to the total heat content of the reactants. There is no evolution or absorption of heat and delta H comes to be 0. If we take the example, then first for exothermic, a molecule of methane reacts with oxygen giving rise to carbon dioxide and water, and delta H comes to be minus 891.8 kilojoules per mole for carbon dioxide. For endothermic, we see the reaction nitrogen reacting with oxygen giving rise to twice NO, and delta H comes to be plus 180 kilojoules per mole. Now for thermoneutral, we consider the inversion of ammonia. Here the total ammonia molecules undergoes inversion, but no evolution or absorption of heat takes place and delta H is 0. Now we come to thermochemical equation. What are they and how are they written? A thermochemical equation is a balanced stoichiometric chemical equation that involves the mentioning of physical state of the reactants and the products, change in energy at the conclusion of the reaction, and change in enthalpy at the conclusion of the reaction. For example, HCl in the aqueous form reacts with ammonia also in the aqueous form, giving rise to NH4Cl in the aqueous form, and delta H comes to be minus 51.42 kilojoules per mole. Delta H is equal to minus 51.42 kilojoules per mole. The second example we take is methane in the gaseous form reacts with oxygen in the gaseous form, giving rise to CO2 in the gaseous form plus water in the liquid form, and the delta H comes to be minus 891.2 kilojoules. The reactions can be written as thermally balanced equations also. For example, CH4 in the gaseous form reacts with oxygen in the gaseous form, giving rise to CO2 in the gaseous form plus twice H2 in the liquid form plus 891 kilojoules. The second is nitrogen in the gaseous form reacts with oxygen in the gaseous form, giving rise to twice NO in the gaseous form minus 180 kilojoules. So we see that whereas in these two types of reactions, the delta H is written as a separate entity, but when the thermally balanced equation is written, then the enthalpy change, that is the heat change, is written as a product And in the case of exothermic reaction, it is written with positive sign, and in the case of endothermic, it is written with a negative sign. Now we see that the physical state of the reactants and products also affect the heat of reaction. For example, if first we take the example of sulfur dioxide, formation of sulfur dioxide. So when oxygen reacts with monoclinic sulfur to give rise to sulfur dioxide, then the heat change is minus 296.3 kilojoules per mole, whereas if oxygen reacts with rhombic sulfur to give rise to sulfur dioxide, then the heat change is minus 296.9 kilojoules per mole. So we see there is a difference in the heat changes. The second example we take is formation of water. The first is when hydrogen and oxygen, both in the gaseous form, react to give water in the gaseous form, the heat changes minus 241.8 kilojoules per mole. But when hydrogen and oxygen, both in the gaseous form, react to give water in the liquid form, then the heat change comes to be minus 285.8 kilojoules per mole. So we see that the heat change is quite significant. We take the third example of formation of carbon dioxide. Now when oxygen reacts with carbon of graphite form, then the heat changes minus 393.5 kilojoules per mole. But when oxygen in the gaseous form reacts with carbon of the diamond form, then the heat evolved is minus 395.6 kilojoules per mole. So we see that there is a difference in the heat changes when the physical state of the reactants or the product is changed. Heat of reaction depends on temperature and pressure. Generally, pressure is kept constant at 1 atmosphere. In writing a thermochemical reaction, pressure of the reaction is denoted as superscript and temperature is written as subscript. For example, if the reaction is taking place at temperature T and pressure P, then it is expressed as delta H raised to the power P and subscript T. Now we come to standard heat of reaction. When the reaction is carried out at 1 atmosphere and 298 or Kelvin or 25 degrees centigrade, then enthalpy is written as delta H raised to the power 0 or 298 at the subscript, and this is known as standard enthalpy of the reaction. For example, if we see this hydrogen and this half molecule of oxygen both in the gaseous state reacting to give water in the gaseous state, and here delta H 0 to 98 is equal to minus 284.8 kilojoules per mole, and this delta H is said to be standard enthalpy of the reaction. Now we come to what is heat of reaction. Change in the energy when 1 mole of the reactant as given in the chemical equation at a specific temperature and pressure completely converts into products at the same temperature and pressure is known as heat of reaction. This can proceed in two ways. If the reaction is carried out at constant pressure, then the change in enthalpy, and if the reaction is carried out at constant volume, then the change is internal energy change. For example, first reaction we take hydrogen and chlorine in the gaseous form react to give HCl, and delta H is equal to minus 184 kilojoules. Here P is constant. Third is carbon in the solid form and oxygen in the gaseous form reacts to give CO2 in the gaseous form, and delta E is equal to minus 393.5 kilojoules. So this is V is equal to constant. Now we come to heat of reactions at constant pressure and constant volume. For constant pressure, we consider two cases. First, when absorption of heat takes place at constant pressure, then the Qp is equal to delta H, and there is an increase in volume. Therefore, the absorbed heat goes to first increase the internal energy by delta E, and also as some volume is increasing, so there is some work done which is given by P delta V by the system. Secondly, when evolution of heat takes place by any gaseous reaction carried out at constant pressure, then again Qp is equal to delta H, but now there is a decrease in volume, and now work is done on the system, and this work is equal to minus PdV. Now we come to the reactions at constant volume. Here, when the reaction is carried out at constant volume, then there is no work done as P delta V is equal to 0. So work is equal to 0, and heat absorbed goes only to increase the internal energy of the system, and QV is equal to delta E. So we have seen that QP is used up in increasing the total internal energy of the system plus some work to be done by the system or on the system, whereas QV goes to increase only the increase in internal energy of the system. That is, the difference between QP and QV is equal to the work, or delta H is equal to minus E is equal to PdV. That is, QP is equal to delta H, QV is equal to delta E, and W is equal to PdV. So we can write as delta E plus PdV is equal to delta H, or delta H is equal to delta E plus PdV. If the change in delta V is negligible, as in the cases of solids and liquids, then P delta V can be ignored and the equation becomes delta H is equal to delta E. Supposingly for a reaction, the number of gaseous reactants are Nr, the volume of the gaseous reactant is Vr, the number of the gaseous product is Np, and the volume of gaseous product is Vp. Then P delta V is equal to P into V minus Vp minus Vr in the brackets. That is, P delta V is equal to P within the brackets Vp minus Vr, or we can say P delta V is equal to PVP minus PVR. Now according to this ideal gas equation, for reactants, for products, PVP is equal to NPRT, and for reactants it will be PVR is equal to NRRT. Now from equation 7 and 8 we get PVP minus PVR is equal to NPRT minus NRRT, or we can write it as PVP minus PVR is equal to RT NP minus NR, or P delta V is equal to RT NP minus NR, or P delta V is equal to delta N RT, where delta N is equal to NP minus NR, that is the difference between the number of the molecules of the product and the reactant. For our gaseous reactants and products, the equation 10 takes the form P delta V is equal to delta N in the gaseous form RT. Now substituting the value of P delta V from equation 11 in equation 3, the equation becomes delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N in the gaseous form RT, or QP is equal to QV plus delta NG RT. Now this equation 12 relates delta E with delta H, that is the value of change in energy with change in enthalpy, and three conditions arise according to this equation. When delta N is positive, then delta H is greater than delta E and QP is greater than QV. Second, when delta N is negative, then delta H is lesser than delta E and QP is less than QV. And third, when delta N is 0, then delta H is equal to delta E and QP is equal to QV. That's all for today. Thank you.